Now to our viewers across the WIN network, that's where we leave the national news. WIN Local News with Jeff Phillips is next after the break.
This is WIN News.
Tonight, rural Australia goes on display at the Royal Easter Show. Labor promises a medical research facility. And the program breaking down barriers in culturally diverse communities. Good evening, I'm Jeff Phillips. It's the time of the year when the country comes to the city. The 193rd Sydney Royal Easter Show is underway, celebrating our rural traditions and showcasing the best of regional produce and livestock. WIN News reporter Rob Morrison was at Homebush for the opening day, where the district displays took centre stage.
It took a whole day for the students from Yanco Ag School to haul their 19 head of cattle from Leeton to Sydney to be ready for day one of the Royal Easter Show.
It's nothing like the country. There's so many people around.
It may be different, but behind all the colour, rides and food are thousands of stories that begin on the land.
We're here at Willets today picking up the cabbages and collies to take down to Sydney for judging.
Rick Houlihan and his team have spent the last year searching the Central West for the region's best produce, and they've taken every care because now they sit front and centre in the Western District display. And today, all that hard work went before the judges.
It gets a little bit nerve-wracking. You know that everyone has put a massive effort in and you just hope for the best result you can get.
The district exhibits are the face of the show. They're windows to the regions they represent, and these 50,000 pieces of produce are seen around the world. But this year, it's not all about the competition. The displays are also a touching tribute to the Anzac Centenary.
I would think that there would be no family or no town that wouldn't have had someone go to war.
And I think it's fantastic that they've commemorated these people.
And here they are, celebrated in fruit and vegetables and all the rest of it. It's just awesome.
But when the country comes to town, the other thing we know how to do is have a good time. So if you come into the show, thanks, you got to get show bags. With hundreds on offer, picking one is hard.
That's why we're here nice and early, so this one doesn't miss out on frozen bags.
The next challenge is getting them home. Rob Morrison, WIN News.
The man responsible for the death of Barrel teen Thomas Kelly in 2012 has been moved to Goulburn Supermax Prison amid allegations he was in an improper relationship with a correctional officer. A female officer has been suspended from the Mid-North Coast Correctional Centre where Kieran Loveridge was being held. Loveridge was sentenced to more than 10 years in prison for the one-punch attack in King's Cross which killed Thomas Kelly. Last week, Loveridge was involved in an altercation with fellow inmates. The Illawarra and Shoalhaven have higher mortality and renal disease rates than the rest of the state. The opposition hopes to reduce those figures by investing more than $40 million into a research facility at UOW. Meantime, the Greens and Liberals turn their attention to the environment.
Some of the nation's leading research is undertaken behind the doors of the Illawarra Health and Medical Research Institute. It's set for a $47.3 million expansion.
Not only does it expand health and medical research at the university, but it will help hopefully improve the lives and health and well-being of local residents.
It will include additional treatment and consultation rooms along with mental health suites. It will only go ahead if Labor is elected. Kira MP Ryan Park took the opportunity today to take a swipe at one of the government's key ministers' letters to voters about the poles and wires lease.
Describing it as a risk and describing it as privatisation. My question to Liberal MPs and candidates in the Illawarra is very simple. If Duncan Gay and the Nationals can't trust you on privatisation, why should the Illawarra?
Labor is not being truthful with the people. It is really a furphy. The whole thing is that we are leasing the power and poles. We are leasing them to people that we'll be able to negotiate and deal with.
The Liberal candidate says the Baird government has put in place provisions to cap the rise in electricity prices. Meantime, the government is pushing ahead with its reform on the state's biodiversity laws. However, draft legislation won't be available until November.
We are accepting all 43 recommendations from the independent review panel.
The Greens fear it will pave the way for development on environmentally sensitive land.
We're very disappointed in the very limited information. It makes no real commitments and it does not commit the government to anything that the community can consider seriously before the election.
Melissa Russell, WIN News.
20% of Australian children will start school not ready to read or write. Paint the Town Red is a national initiative to get children under 5 excited about books. The program encourages parents to read, sing and talk to their newborns every day to avoid literacy problems later in life.
They'll struggle. They'll often get themselves into fights with kids because they'll be falling behind. They'll often act the class clown because they can't keep up. And self-esteem and depression really kicks in.
200 representatives from across the country will spend the rest of the week in Wollongong for the 5th annual Paint the Town Red National Conference. A program which has been running for 14 years has proved successful in reducing racism in culturally diverse communities in the Illawarra. The Multicultural Communities Council puts on a Youth in Harmony Day every year to build relationships between children from different backgrounds.
It's a bit of friendly competition to teach these children to be lifelong friends. Students from Cringilla and Port Kembla public schools have come together to prove race and religion won't stop these kids getting along.
My new friends are from other schools like Port Kembla, and you get to spend more time with them and you get to know what their personalities are really like.
Everyone comes from a different country and their parents or their grandparents, so it's important to make different friends with different religions or cultures.
Most of the children are from families that migrated to the region in the 50s and 60s, and some more recent arrivals from Iran and Afghanistan. Most will end up at the same high school. Traditionally, the program was set up to ease racial tensions between the neighbouring suburbs. Now, the program takes a new approach of breaking down the stereotypes of different cultures and religions.
We want to make sure that young people are more aware of different cultures in their community, and if they're more aware and they're more educated about the different cultures present, then there's less likelihood of further problems occurring down the track.
Police officers also attended the day to break down their own stereotype. They want the children to know the police are there to protect them and keep them safe.
It's very important to interact with these kids at this age. This is when we're most likely to get the message across to them, and they're quite interactive when we deal with them.
Miley Hogan, Win News.
Mount Kira was transformed into a training ground today ahead of next month's inaugural Bravo Team Challenge. I98FM's Marjay Saba and mother of 2 Simone Howley received a preview of one of the obstacle competitors will face. Simone has lost 15 kilograms in the past 6 months, but considers the event, which combines fitness and team building activities, to be her biggest challenge yet.
I don't think you can really be prepared for something like this. I don't think they've given too many clues, but I think surviving the 3 days will be the challenge.
The best part, quite frankly, I think is about getting out there, being amongst nature, taking part here on Mount Kira, beautiful location.
Marjay will be hoping the Wasps are a little bit quieter when the event begins on April 17. Ahead on Win News, the future of a controversial Highlands bowling club to be decided by the courts. And Warilla's Jeremy Lopez ready to live a dream at one of the world's best football academies. Welcome back. The Supreme Court of New South Wales will now decide the future of the controversial Mittagong Bowling Club. A rescission motion to stop the demolition of the club was upheld at last night's Winchicurrabee Shire Council meeting. Residents want to turn the old building into a community centre, but council says the land is locked by a trust. The Southern Highlands ratepayers put forward a summons to council to have the Supreme Court decide if the trust can be broken. Due to the rescission motion, council won't be able to discuss the matter for the next 3 months. People across the country have embraced everything purple today in the name of epilepsy awareness. The neurological condition causes seizures and affects more than 250,000 Australians.
A purple cake to mark the day, which encourages people to get talking about epilepsy. It's a condition the Nicol family know all too well.
My uncle passed away from epilepsy when I was younger. I was only 6 weeks old, and now my mum has it, so it's a big thing in our family.
Donna Nicol has been having seizures for 7 years, and there's no warning as to when they'll occur.
I don't know, even after I come out of a seizure, I do not know that I've had one. And then I usually sleep the rest of the day off.
Besides lethargy, a few bumps and bruises and being unable to drive as a result of the condition, it's business as usual for Donna.
It only affects your life if you let it affect your life.
Advice for anyone who witnesses a seizure is not to restrain the person, but remove any harmful objects nearby and look for a medic alert bracelet or necklace indicating their condition and an emergency contact.
They used to say put something in their mouth so they don't swallow their tongue. You can't swallow your tongue when you're having a seizure. That's an old wives' tale. Basically just let them ride it out, and if it's longer than 5 minutes, call them an ambulance.
Sarah Naven, Win News.
To sport, and Warilla Wanderers young gun Jeremy Lopez is off on the trip of a lifetime on Sunday when he leaves for the Botafogo Football Academy. Lopez is the first South Coast junior to head to the Brazil Academy, and he's earned plenty of support from football legend Raleigh Rassick.
Jeremy Lopez will spend 34 days at the Botafogo Football Academy.
Once I go over there, I'm going to develop my skills and learn about the game, obviously, and then after the month that I'm there, I'm going to get assessed on my ability, advantages, all my positive and weaknesses in the game.
The star 16-year-old was encouraged to take the trip by Warilla Football Club and a legend of Australian football, Raleigh Rassick. Rassick has the exclusive rights to scout players for the famous South American Academy.
He will come completely different person, and that should rub off on hundreds of other kids in this area, thousands. Jeremy would be opportunity for these youngsters to rub off, an opportunity to hear. When he comes back, you will see different football, you will see different person.
Rassick says Botafogo is like no other academy in the world.
When you come into total professional environment where every meal that you eat is calculated and 2 training sessions a day, plus you communicate purely in Portuguese language.
The trip may just be the stepping stone to Jeremy's future dreams.
Just to put on that green and gold jersey would be just second to none.
Tim Robinson, Win News.
The Illawarra Cutters will be looking for back-to-back New South Wales Cup wins on Sunday after piecing together their best performance of the season last weekend. Meanwhile, the Cashback app Illawarra Challenge Cup continues on Saturday, with Dapto looking to get its year off on the right foot.
Michael Murphy has been a Canary since he was 4 years old, before spending 3 years at Shell Harbour. He returned to Dapto last year and has now been named captain.
I was looking for a change. It was a bit stale at Dapto. Been there a few years, come back now. A lot of mates there that I grew up playing footy with, so it's a big honour to be captain.
Murphy will lead Dapto out against West Illawarra in Saturday's Illawarra Challenge Cup match at Gibson Park, and he's hoping it's the start of a big year ahead for the club.
I didn't think we were that far off last year. I know the results didn't show it, but we were in a lot of those games for a long time. I think this year, like I said, we haven't had any long-term goals. We're just looking to improve week to week, and that'll take care of itself.
Meanwhile, the Illawarra Cutters may have found the click they've been searching for in the opening 3 rounds of the New South Wales Cup.
We certainly gave ourselves an opportunity to win the game, but let both of them slip. So it was really good to post the first win and hopefully consolidate that with another one this weekend.
Jacob Hine played 2 games for the Cutters last season and says coach Scott Logan has played a big part in his recent strong form.
Just those little intricate things in your game that, you just got to polish those things, and him being a former front rower, he's got a good insight into that.
Tim Robinson, Win News.
Matt Moss will begin the defence of his Motocross Nationals title when the Australian Motocross Championship gets underway with round 1 at Horsham in Victoria this weekend. The 2-time defending champ will once again line up for Suzuki, but the news is not so good for his brother Jake. Set to ride for Kawasaki for the 3rd straight season, Jake suffered a leg injury during training and has been ruled out of round 1, replaced by John Phillips. 2013 Lights champion Luke Stike from Huskisson is having his first season in the Premier Division riding for KTM. That is a short sport. The Friday weather details are next. A cool morning with the sun coming out to warm up the afternoon, and the good news is the Bureau says it should have similar conditions for us for tomorrow and right across the weekend. First tonight to the satellite. Patchy cloud increasing over parts of the northern rivers and northern tablelands with the low pressure trough is causing showers and thunderstorms to develop. Cloud over southern parts of the state associated with the low over Bass Strait is also causing cool showers to develop. Moving on to the synoptic chart, remnants of tropical cyclone Nathan are still generating gusty winds, heavy showers and thunderstorms over the top end. A cold front and low are crossing Victoria and Tassie, causing showers, strong winds, some thunder and small hail. Temperature-wise today, Wollongong peaked at 25 degrees, Bowral registered 21, a maximum of 25 in Nowra, 23 in Ulladulla, Batemans Bay and Moruya 25, 24 for Narooma, Bega 25, and a couple of 24s there for beautiful Merimbula and Eden. The forecast for the Illawarra and the Highlands, it'll be a warm and sunny Friday with westerly winds. For the south coast, a mostly sunny end of the 5-day working week, winds west to north-westerly in the middle of the day, then tending west to south-westerly at night. Seas are running at 1.5 metres on a 1 metre swell. The first tide tomorrow is high at 2:30, the low right on 9:30. For a Friday in Eden and Merimbula looking at 22 degrees. Bega and Narooma looking at 23. Moruya and Batemans Bay should get to 24 degrees. Ulladulla 23. The Shoalhaven 23. 7 degrees overnight in Bowral. Tomorrow 19. Whilst in Wollongong stretching from 14 to 22. Further ahead, a sunny weekend with patchy fog in the morning and light winds. And that is Win News for Thursday the 26th of March. To view some of our reports, visit the Win News Illawarra Facebook page. I'm Jeff Phillips. Stand by now for the cricket and the Indian run chase. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Win, Australia's #1 regional television network.